right, friends, we're starting with drip marketing. So I was so late to 5.7 for Genshin, right? That they literally drip marketed the next character for, I guess, 5.8. We're getting to that time where it's like, will it keep going? Actually, it probably will keep going because usually we don't get the new region, nation, whatever. I don't even know if it's technically a nation this time. I think it's just an area. We usually don't get that until September, and it's like June. So we should have 5.8 and then it'll go to 6.0, which feels insane because also 6.0 originally was supposed to be Shnesnaya, but now it's not. 7.0 is going to be Shnesnaya. So that feels a little bit wild. I'm still not awake enough to do this. It's been like maybe an hour since I recorded the web event video. I'm still so tired. Y'all, I'm still so tired. And this is the harder video because this is gonna be longer. Anyways, Ineffa, drip marketing. I don't know how much we want to dig into this. Boom Boom Thunderwave is her title. Multifunctional robot for domestic application. We don't know what she has. It's not a vision, but it is Electro one way or another. Does she have a vision? Because even on here, the Song of the Welkin Moon logo is on here, right? Like, hello? It's there. So like, she's from Nodcry, which I guess, because I saw people actually discussing this on social media recently, right? What would even be the word? Technical advancements of Tevat, I guess. Because when Natlin dropped, was like, this is way too technologically advanced, what is happening? And so I also kind of had the thought of, well, maybe we've just been slowly but surely like advancing with technology in Tevat this whole time because it's kind of kept going. Like both Fontaine and, did Natlin have robots? Well, Fontaine does. But then also we have the like Ruin Guards and stuff like that came from Shnesnaya. So like robots. And then also like, why can't I think of anything today? We're struggling. Sumeru also had like technological advancement, all that, but it was like roped in with the magic there. So it was like, it made more sense. Anyways, I did see people making, because also Nodcry has like a literal spaceship. So like I saw somebody, and I don't know if it's technically like a full theory or like is in the lore somewhere, because I call myself a lore enjoyer, but like there's a lot of lore in this game that even I don't know. And that's okay. You know, it's okay. But I saw somebody throw out the theory, possible theory, that the thing that happened 500 years ago, the thing, Cataclysm, whatever, I think it was the Cataclysm, there was like 2 of them. Anyways, could have wiped out, or probably did wipe out all the technology. So now different parts of Tevat that didn't get hit as hard probably still have some of that technology. So why was Nodcry just like entirely glossed over? Like they're still rocking there. Like, and that there actually might be in-game lore that supports that like totally. And that is like the standard like agreed upon canon thing, but I don't know if there is, and I'm not pretending that I do. Oh, it even mentions like the phlogiston. So like this in like the terms of like a timeline does make the most sense to go directly after Natlin, which means Natlin actually makes sense. Throughout Tevat's history, humankind has made attempts to mimic the complex working of life using mechanisms and gears. Giants forged of steel carved out the lands of Conria, while the Lord Artificer ushered in a new age with clockwork contraptions. Okay. So they did have extreme technological advancement in the Conrian times, but then boom, cataclysm, no more technology. But certain areas did get to keep it, it seems like. Probably just based on where it happened, because it was like it boom. So like, you know, trying to make this make sense, because this is not even supposed to be a drip marketing video. This is supposed to be a patch video, but it might have to be a separate drip marketing video. Perhaps through the eyes of some maniacs, put a pin in that, I guess. Humans themselves are no more than machines built to bone and flesh. If we turn our gaze to creators outside humanity, if the boundaries are drawn at creations beyond mere machinery, gods walked into the primordial sea, and sinners cast themselves into the abyss, while the ancient king of dragons engraved mind and soul into phlogiston. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. This is just gonna have to be a whole video, probably. If the boundaries are drawn at creations beyond mere machinery, that was not even the line I need to read. Gods walked into the primordial sea, and sinners cast themselves into the abyss. Who is writing this? Because I have said before, I think it was because I've always been like anti-Celestia, but I think Celestia is being controlled by like nameless god. What is the full name for that? I'm like going head first back into Genshin lore, and I can't think of what anything is called. Literally can't think of what anything is called. What is her name? Heavenly Principles. Yeah, Celestia is being controlled, because I've always been like, I hate Celestia. This is a Celestia hate account. We hate anti-Celestia because of what they did to the Conrians. But I think pretty sure it's in Bedtime Story you kind of figure out, even though Celestia did it, it was technically the heavenly principles that's kind of doing the whole thing, you know, like, so like we kind of knew that the heavenly principles was probably bad. So like whose perspective is this coming from? Because gods walked into the primordial sea, sinners cast themselves into the abyss. Whose idea is it? The ancient king of dragons engraved mind and soul into phlogiston. That does make enough sense because ancient king of dragons, phlogiston, I'm pretty sure ancient king of dragons is a Natlan thing. So that makes sense. Maybe it was done out of compassion or ambition, perhaps even the pursuit of eternal sovereignty or a desire to rebel against fate. Did the desire to rebel against fate part specifically? That's good. That's good. Very interested in that. Compared to that supreme wisdom and power, this workshop is not but a patchwork paradise, cobbled together by a lonely child. So I'm guessing it's Ineffa's workshop and she's the lonely child is what I would assume. Compared to that magnificent destiny and design, Ineffa was created as the vessel for no such lofty expectations. At least on the eve of her reactivation, her purpose is simple, to serve as a companion. So I'm assuming she is the first character we will meet in... I was gonna say she's the first character we're gonna meet in Nodcry because she's gonna be that companion. I'm also assuming the eve of her reactivation. Also, it would make sense that maybe she was deactivated right before the Cataclysm and was then reactivated when we show up during the summer event, because the next patch is going to be the summer event right before we get a new area, which will probably go to Nodcry, I'm assuming. Just like the outskirts of it, I'm assuming at this point. Because Ineffa is going to be like the last 5-star character we get before the new nation. So that usually means she's probably involved in the summer event. At least I would assume so, because it would make enough sense for her to be, because she's not from Natlan, that's the thing. The last 5-star character we got before New Nation was Emily, but she was from Fontaine, so she was just there. I am really curious about her lore though, and I'm assuming we'll figure it out in the summer event. It makes sense that she would be, you know, like the lonely child line. Like it makes sense that she would be in the summer event because the summer events are usually very whimsical. Like it makes total sense. But yeah, that is Ineffa. This could probably be its own video, but I think we're just gonna get into patch stuff because I want to pull for SKIRK. So we're gonna do that too. All right, I gotta open my game, BRB. We are in, I haven't logged in. I don't think I logged in during 5.6 like at all. Yeah, I don't think I logged in at all during 5.6 because I was going to log in first half because I wanted Escoffier, had surgery, didn't log in at all. So we're definitely getting the Welcome Home Cheater event, but this might be the longest time I've ever not logged into Genshin. So I know I was getting that, but I also want to change my voiceover back to English. There we go. Should probably delete the Japanese voiceover. Totally spaced out. All right, well, version highlights time? Yeah. This usually breaks my model, so we'll see if it does or not this time. I think we're okay. So obviously we have SKIRK. We're going to fully go over her kit and stuff in a minute, so we won't do that here. We have Dahlia as well, so this is going to be quite a long video. I might cut the drip marketing out of this video now that I'm looking at it because I forgot we have 2 characters I have to go through the kits of. We have the weapon for SKIRK. Oh, my model is glitching. What do you know? We'll just look at this really quickly. Events that we have currently ongoing. We have the Battle of Imagined Arrays, the Traveler's Tales event, and a Space and Time for You, obviously. Well, here's the phase 1 preview, because that's like the name of the patch. Also, yeah, I was curious what this was, but I was curious where this was from, so I didn't say anything, but we got 2 Dust of Enlightenment, and that's the new artifact material, I'm pretty sure? I forget what that was for, though. So yeah, we have the banners, which we'll get to in a second. Event of Battle of Imagined Arrays runs until July 7th. It opened on the 20th, so that is currently ongoing. It's been open for a little bit now. Stygian Onslaught. This one scares me a little bit. Was this the one that scared me? It might be. This opened, like, I'm recording this on the 25th. It opened like today, and then we'll go until July 29th. It almost feels like with the new nation, like I'm almost kind of assuming maybe 5, like if they did like a half or like a condensed patch for 5.8, I wouldn't be surprised or we'll get the new nation in like October, which that would also be the anniversary patch, I believe, if we got September, October. Curious, because that's either 5.8 or 6.0 is going to be anniversary, looking at it now. I'm not sure specifics though. But yeah, Stygian Onslaught is ongoing. Traveler's Tales goes until the 29th as well, but I think it runs a little bit later. Yeah, this goes until 4 a.m. server time, whereas the Traveler's Tales goes until whatever 15 is. It goes until the end of like when maintenance hits, that's when Traveler's Tales end. We have extra bonus rewards until the 8th for SKIRK's story quest. I'm not sure if we'll get to that in time. Then there's Genius Invocation and all the shop stuff. So that's that. System update wise, Stygian Combat or Stygian Onslaught is permanent. That's what I thought. But I guess there's like a bonus event or something. I don't know. It's time for banners. It's also probably time to move the box. Yeah, Stygian Onslaught has 9 days, but also 33 days. I don't know enough about that. 11 days on Battle of Imagined Arrays. Traveler's Tales has 34. We have SKIRK Story Chapter. And gosh, there's so many things I have not done. All right, let's move the box. Okay, we're gonna start with Shenhe, and then we'll circle back to the new characters. So we'll do Dahlia and SKIRK, but Shenhe we're just gonna buzz through. Then we'll go through the actual kits of the new characters. Shenhe I do have though. So the team they're running is Shenhe, Ayaka, Paimon. She's gonna keep going. You know what? I forgot, I didn't realize until like line 2 or 3 that they changed the Paimon VA. I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. They got really close. Okay. All right, Shenhe. Didn't even fully process what team they're running. Wait, Ayaka and Kokomi, they got the combo. They got the Ayaka Kokomi combo. That's my favorite thing to run because I love Kokomi and Ayaka. I recommend this team comp. I do, because I've run like this exact team comp before with Shenhe as well. I recommend it 200%. Finish him, Kokomi. It's fine. I will be using Kokomi to finish him. Look at that. I recommend this team comp. Okay, Dahlia, we're gonna go do the run through. I'm like, what's the best way to do this? It actually would probably be to go through outside of the thing, go through kit. What's the best way to do this? Usually, how do I usually do this? Also, I have Stellar Reunion available. Hold on. Give me a second to like figure this one out. I thought they changed the like mastering on the popular recently video. No, they didn't. Because it's usually very loud. Where am I? I'm like not sure how I want to go about this. Confirm plan, sure. Because we have our banners here, right? Here's the weapon. We can do at least one tentpole, so we'll have to see. Oh my god, there's new first clear reward. Oh my god. I didn't know we were getting first clear rewards for these domains, so I just get everything. Okay, quality of life, okay. And then what's in my characters? Who has the constellation? Kachina. Of course she does, because I did some of the Natlan Archon quests. Yep, there we go. All right, my brain isn't working. I guess we can go character preview, take a look. Yeah, we'll do it this way. So we have Dahlia first, Hydro, support, shielder, all that. They have Sack Sword on him, which is probably pretty good if he's a shielder. Noblesse, I don't know what we expected. Talent demo? What is the talent? Ooh, was this always there? Because we might just use this. All right, let's just go through this to intro the character. So Dahlia is a Hydro support character who can provide shields to protect his allies and increase their attack speed. All right. Can use his elemental burst to create a shield to protect party members. And when Dahlia is in the party, the active character can use normal attacks or trigger the frozen reaction to grant Dahlia Benison stacks. I have no idea what that is. When a shield is destroyed, Benison stacks can be consumed to create a new one. It's just a stacking mechanic. That's all it is. His elemental skill summons a sacramental shower to lift both opponents and allied targets into the air. Is that oh god, the baptism? The surprise baptism, is that what it is? All right, so then his burst or ultimate. I'm assuming burst is ultimate? Yeah, sure, fine. After Dahlia uses his burst, he will cause characters in his party to enter the Favonian favor state. During this time, the active character can use normal attacks or trigger the frozen reaction to grant Dahlia Benison stacks. And then when in the Favonian favor state, the active character's attack speed will increase. So I'm assuming that means you can tap off of Dahlia and like go to any other character, so he works off field. During this time, when the Shield of Sacred Favor is broken, Dahlia can consume one Benison stack to summon another Shield of Sacred Favor. Okay. All right. We will take a look at constellations after we do the character trial. But before that, let's do his trial. Oh, they're putting the character summary. Like, they upgraded this. Okay, it's not just a paragraph anymore. So we have Dahlia, Fremine, Chongyun, and Sucrose. There he is. There's the boy. It took so long for him to be in this godforsaken game. So there's that. I wonder, whoa, it works on him. I was like, I wonder if it works on him. And then we'll try his ult. We'll summon, because you can do that, like, surprise baptism. Yes, that's what it is. So you can't launch enemies. All right, so I guess we're just here. Usually I do try to use the trial character to go through the thing with, but I genuinely don't think you could use Dahlia as a DPS. Is Fremine sound different? Did they change Fremine's VA? Oh my God, no shot. Hello, give me a second. No, they didn't. I just haven't played in a long time. Did they? I can't tell. Everything sounds different now. Yeah, you cannot use Dahlia as a DPS, but that's fine. He's not supposed to be a DPS. No, I think it's the same voice. for Fremine. I can't tell. Chongyu is unchanged, but yeah, but if you kind of just like spam everyone's stuff, this works perfectly fine. But you do need to like spam all your character's skills because otherwise it ain't no way. I think Dahlia's a fine shielder though. Oh, we're done. All right, we have that. We can't do character. Well, actually we can do the character preview when we get in the thing. So that was Dahlia. Don't use Dahlia as a DPS. You're not supposed to, but like I use Kokomi as a DPS sometimes, kind of for the meme. But you can. Maybe it's just how they built him. If you put different artifacts on him, possibly, but like use him as a support, please. Thank you. Okay, SKIRK then. And what do we, ooh, wait, we need to do pay to play. We need to do pay to play first. So we'll exit and come back. It's a whole thing. Because Dahlia is a 4-star, it's much easier to get copies of him, but also not. You will just get copies of him over time. So I can't recommend going all the way to, what's the best way to do? Probably do through events. Like I can't recommend going all the way up to C6 because you don't know. That's the thing with the 5-star, you know you're gonna get the 5-star. The 4-stars are a lot more finicky, so like don't risk it. Thank you. Just try to get copies as you go, and that's fine. So this is the pay to play section. It's a lot easier to get 4-stars, but also not. Don't break the bank just to get 4-star constellations, especially because as much as I love Dahlia, I don't know if he's a totally viable unit in game. So there's that. But maybe I will be eating my words. Let's go through his constellations. So everything we just did with the trial was Dahlia at C0, 1 copy, easy to get sometimes. From here, you probably would have to spend money, but also 4-star so you can get him over time. It's not super crazy, but if you are pulling for SKIRK and or Shenhe, you'll probably get multiple copies of him anyways. So C1 is called infallible process. Also, I need to move my box. We'll go down here. But infallible or infallible? I think it's infallible procession. Each time Dahlia gains one of his elemental bursts, Radiant Salter's Benison stacks, he will regain 2.5 elemental energy. Seems good enough, especially if you're running a team comp that needs the elemental energy. Seems good enough. But also, cooldowns exist. C2 is then called Revelation of Mercy. After Dahlia consumes this elemental burst, Radiant Salter's Benison stacks to summon a Shield of Sacred Favor, the character protected by said shield will gain 25% increased shield strength for 12 seconds. I feel like that's, again, 1 and 2 seem to be like, okay, I can see that being helpful. Again, he's a 4-star, so his constellations aren't going to go crazy, but Wind Bloom Offertory is C3 or 4 copies. I haven't really been narrating this properly, but 4 copies of Dahlia. Increases the level of Radiant Salter by 3. Maximum upgrade level is 15. This is what we call a means to an end. You don't really need it. You're probably going for 4, but they got to get you to 4 somehow. So you're going to get 3 anyways. Don't stop at 3 is what we're saying here. If you are pulling multiple copies, but again, 4-star, it doesn't matter as much. C4 then is called Collective the Assembly. This is 5 copies of Dahlia. The Favonian Favor from Dahlia's Elemental Burst lasts 3 more seconds. Yeah, I don't think that's totally necessary. It might be because of the cooldown. The cooldown will have time to, like do the thing to end, and you'll still have that shield up. Unsure. All right, C5. This is going to be 6 copies of Dahlia. It's called Let It Be Subtly So. Increases the level of Immersive Ordnance by 3. Maximum level is 15. Means to an end. You don't stop here, but he's a 4-star, so you might stop here. His C6 then, or 7 copies of Dahlia. With this one, there's so much text I have to scroll it so you can see it. The current active character affected by the Elemental Burst, Radiant Salter's Favonian Favor, has their attack speed increased by 10%. Additionally, when an active character affected by Favonian Favor falls, immediately revive them and restore their HP to 100%. This effect can trigger once every 15 minutes. First of all, the random revival? Insane. But also the 15 minutes thing, that's a little bit egregious that you have to wait 15 minutes. So you basically only get it once per like boss fight, essentially, because if you're spending 15 minutes in a boss fight, like if you're spending 15 minutes fighting Senora, what are you doing? So yeah, you can only use it like once. And honestly, truly, if you say you were spending 5 minutes, and 5 minutes is also probably too long. 5 minutes on a boss fight, that isn't like a scripted boss fight for the story. You can't even use it. You can use it once every other boss fight. Dear God. I feel like his C6 would be like insanely cracked if it wasn't for the 15 minutes thing, but like I get it. I feel like they should have done every 5 minutes. I feel like 15 is really egregious. But I mean, can use all the help you can get, I guess. That's kind of cracked though. I still would not go out of my way to C6 Dahlia, like spend money to C6 Dahlia. If you have pulls saved and want to C6 your Dahlia, go for it. I know the Daily Dahlia account, like bless them. They've been waiting for so long. But I wouldn't go out of my way to like spend money to do it. Because again, 4-star, you'll get him over time. It's no big deal. In terms of like, I feel like You Shall Go Out With Joy is the only one that's like, yeah, you probably need that. But also you could totally use him with like no cons because he's a 4-star. I feel like you could totally use it. Like, if none of these are like, wow, you need this, except for his C6. So like that, I'm just saying. Let's move on to SKIRK, yeah? SKIRK time. Try. We don't need to do the character preview because we're just it's gonna pop open when we open up the thing. All right, there's 6 pages. 6 whole pages. SKIRK is a cryo damage dealer. She's your DPS who uses Serpent Subtlety to attack opponents instead of a vision thing. She can either deal continuous damage or burst of damage depending on how her abilities are used. So you can use her as a main DPS or a sub DPS with the burst thing. I'm assuming most people are using her as a main DPS right now, but I've seen a lot of like talk about how her kit isn't future proof or whatever. Also, I've been seeing that with Finon in Honkai Star Rail. Anyways, I assumed that going into it. Like she has very minimal use cases with her kit, right? So like I'm not surprised. But I think that burst damage thing could come back like a couple patches from now and it's like, oh, SKIRK is meta again, you know? So with Serpent Subtlety, when SKIRK uses her elemental skill, she can obtain a fixed amount of Serpent Subtlety. This can maintain the special mode 7-phase flash, which she can enter by tapping her skill, and in which her normal attacks will be enhanced, and be fully consumed to unleash the elemental burst Havoc Ruin, so that's her ult, unleashing rapid consecutive slashes against opponents. I do want to see that in game, the rapid consecutive slashes. After unlocking her passive talent, Reason Beyond Reason, when party members trigger Frozen, Superconduct, Cryo Swirl, or Cryo Crystallize reactions, they will also create Void Rifts on the field. SKIRK can absorb these Void Rifts through specialized means, which can allow her to obtain additional Serpent Subtlety. It almost kind of sounds like Nouvelette's mechanic a little bit, like just a little bit at least. So I guess this is continuous damage dealer and then burst damage. So the next 2 slides are going to be about if you're using her as your main DPS, and then it's going to be sub DPS with the burst. So if you're using her as a main DPS, when tapping her elemental skill, SKIRK can obtain a fixed amount of Serpent Subtlety and switch to the 7-phase flash mode. SKIRK's normal attacks will be enhanced in this mode and will convert to dealing cryo damage instead. So I guess usually you do fizz, but this will deal cryo. Her interruption resistance will also be increased. Thank God, I love interruption resistance. It's one of my favorite mechanics. This mode will continuously consume Serpent Subtlety, and SKIRK will leave this mode once Serpent Subtlety is fully consumed or when its duration ends. Curious what the duration is and if constellations will up that duration. During this time, SKIRK can use the special elemental burst, and it just has the icon, so I don't know what it's called, which does not need to consume Serpent Subtlety, increasing the normal attack damage dealt upon hitting opponents. Then, after you unlock her passive talent, Reason Beyond Reason, when SKIRK hits opponents using her charge attack while in the 7-phase flash mode, or when she uses her special elemental burst, she can absorb nearby Void Rifts to obtain additional Serpent Subtlety, thus extending the duration of 7-phase flash. Okay, so that extends the duration of that. What was the other thing I was curious about? Oh, if constellations will up that duration. So no, it's just with her passive. If you want to use her as a burst damage dealer though, and holding her elemental skill, SKIRK will obtain a fixed amount of Serpent Subtlety and enter a high-speed movement mode that increases her interruption resistance and allows her to move atop water. It seems kind of similar to Child's like dual blades, but without the moving on water, obviously. I'm assuming also Child does not have the interruption resistance. I would just assume that because he's an older character. She will also absorb any nearby Void Rifts to obtain additional Serpent Subtlety. When SKIRK has more than 50 Serpent Subtlety, she can use her elemental burst, consuming all her Serpent Subtlety. I need a shorter name for this, Hoyo. To perform rapid consecutive slashes that deal immense cryo damage to opponents. The more Serpent Subtlety is consumed, the greater the damage dealt. Damn, the greater the damage dealt. Yes. Ooh, she's talking. She's being broody though, but she's talking. I want to see her idle animation like really bad. So we're gonna stand here for a little bit. Even her ultimate. Ooh, look at her float. She's so cool. Wow. All right, SKIRK, I apologize. Ooh, she jingles. Oh, not really. I thought she jingled, but it was just when I left her idle animation. They also gave her 3 pieces of hair in the back. Wow. They saw people complaining about the Genshin hairstyle. Quite frankly, I kind of like the Genshin hairstyle better, like the split hair in the back so you can see the design of the outfit. Because we just got hair back here, but sure. So she is the tiny model. She's short. That's cute. All right, let's see some of her attacks. So that is what she does. Ooh, her attack sequences are really cool. Is she polearm? I didn't even process that. Cryo polearm. Okay. Is it? I'm curious what she would look like without her best in slot, right? Because she's running her best in slot, Azure Light, which is a sword, but it turns into like a staff because she is able to use any type of weapon that's part of her lore. Curious. Is it kind of like if you have the 5-star best in slot weapon for Arlecchino, it does turn into that scythe? So if you don't have like her best in slot 5-star weapon, it doesn't do that. It's just a normal sword. Oh, they're probably doing that again. Oh, I hit down on it. Like I held down on it. She also has dual blades if you do that. All right, so the team we're running is SKIRK, Escoffier, Xingqiu, and Barbara. I think you can also, I don't know what if Xingqiu is there, does that mean you can run Yelan? Curious. Because Barbara's there is in place for Kokomi, I'm pretty sure. All right, let's do the ult. Ooh. Oh my god, that was a one hit on those guys. Oh my gosh. I did get wiped out a little bit. Her cooldowns are quite long, it feels like. Ooh, you can do her ult early a little bit. Oh my god, she's making quick work of this. I tried to dodge that and it did not work. All right, Barbara, give me something. Give me something, Barbara. Ooh, I'm just trying to get this guy out. We might have to use multiple characters though, because I am struggling to do this with just SKIRK, I will say that. But they gave me like one of the worst opponents, I feel like. Like, what are we doing? There we go. All right, take you out. Oh, there's a Void Rift. Ooh, how do we absorb the Void Rift? Oh, well, I guess we'll never find out. Okay, well, let's exit and go look at her kit then, or her constellations. I still really like SKIRK, and I still am probably gonna pull for her. I don't know what we expected. All right, give me my test run materials. Let's go constellation time. All right, so the trial we just did, that was C0, 1 copy of SKIRK. If you've been saving especially, that's pretty easy to get. As long as you don't lose a 50-50 or go to hard pity, but if you've been saving a lot, you're probably fine. From here, you will have to spend money, most likely. Spend responsibly, all that jazz. Usually what I recommend is getting 1 copy of the character, see if you like them in-game, if you like playing them, and then go for constellations during a rerun, usually. Because by the time the character gets rerun, especially in games with really high turnover on meta and things like that, they're probably gonna not be relevant in a little bit. Like very soon. I will say Genshin is not as bad with power creep though, so you probably could pull multiple copies during the 1 patch. I very rarely recommend going to C6 during the patch the character is in though, because you might not actually even like the character and then you spent like $500, because I recently found out how much it costs to C6 or whatever a character. I didn't know people were paying that much money, but very rarely do I recommend maxing out a character during their patch. I'd usually recommend waiting for a rerun if you want to, but hey, your money, spend responsibly, all that. If you have the money to C6 every character, the patch they release, power to ya. But most people don't. So we're gonna go through her constellations, pay to play. I'm gonna rate them essentially and see if I think they're worth it, and recommend where I would, if you want to pull multiple copies during the patch, where I think you should go. So C1 or 2 copies of SKIRK is called Far to Fall. This enhances the effects of the passive talent Reason Beyond Reason. So that is her passive, which we'll get to in a second, or I guess we can do now. So Reason Beyond Reason. It talked about this in her preview, but when nearby party members trigger Frozen, Superconduct, Cryoswirl, or Cryocrystallize reactions against opponents, a Void Rift will be created. Okay, so you do need to use her with other characters. You cannot solo with SKIRK, essentially. You could, but to get the most use out of her, you really need to run her with other Hydro and Cryo characters. This effect being triggered once every 2.5 seconds. A maximum of 3 rifts created by SKIRK herself can exist in the field at once. And okay, it also tells you how to absorb them. So to absorb nearby void rifts, hit an opponent with a charged attack in her 7-phase flash mode. Okay, so you do have to be using charge. When she uses these special elemental bursts, Havoc, Extinction, Will, and 7-phase flash, and when she holds her elemental skill to engage in rapid move. Okay. Each rift absorbed will grant her 8 serpent subtlety points. All right, so it's also stacking. So every void rift absorbed with C1 will summon a crystal blade to attack nearby opponents, dealing 500% of SKIRK's attack as cryo damage. So I'm assuming you want to build her on attack. This damage is considered charged attack damage. You must first unlock the passive talent Reason Beyond Reason. Okay. How do you unlock her passive? Hold on. Reason Beyond Reason, how do we unlock? It's an Ascension talent. Okay. So I'm curious where you get that, like when it unlocks. Hopefully we'll find out, because I can look that up and I actually grab her. Okay, so that's her C1. I actually think her C1's pretty good. Like if you wanted to stop at C1 during this patch, go for it. Okay, I don't need to move my box yet. So C2 or 3 copies of SKIRK is called Into the Abyss. After unleashing her elemental skill, SKIRK will gain 10 additional serpent subtlety points. Okay, so when she ults, she gets more points. When using her elemental burst, the damage of this elemental burst... Oh no, that's her skill. Okay, so when you ult then, when you use her ultimate, the damage of this elemental burst instance will be increased by taking up to 10 more serpent subtlety points into account. I have no idea what that means. Those words don't make sense. Additionally, within 12.5 seconds after SKIRK unleashes the special elemental burst, so she ults, while in 7-phase flash, which I think you need to be in your ult to do. No, 7-phase flash is when she's in her, is the skill and you can ult early. Okay. So after SKIRK unleashes special burst well in the skill mode, her attack is increased by 70%. This effect will be canceled when she leaves the 7-phase flash mode. Okay. Okay. I feel like you don't need a C2. Like, I feel like you could go to C1 and call it, but like maybe if you want to like do like C2 wouldn't be bad, you know? C3 then is 200% a means to an end. This increases the level of Havoc Ruin, which Ruin is her ultimate. So Ruin is her ultimate and Wrap is her skill. So this increases the level of her ultimate by 3. Maximum level is 15. You don't need this. Don't stop here. Don't go to 3. Just keep going at that point. Her C4 then is called Fractured Flow. This is going to be 5 copies of SKIRK. It enhances the effects of the passive talent Return to Oblivion, which we haven't even talked about yet. Each Death's Crossing stack also increases SKIRK's attack by 10, 20, or 40%. And you must first unlock the passive talent Return to Oblivion. I'm assuming this is another Ascension talent, but I'm unsure where you get it. So, Return to Oblivion is when nearby Hydro party members hydro attacks at opponents or nearby Cryo party members apart from SKIRK, so not SKIRK, hit opponents with cryo attacks. So if you use the type of damage they deal on them, SKIRK will gain the Death's Crossing effect for 20 seconds. This has a max of 3 stacks, and each stack's duration is counted independently, so you can do this for up to 60 seconds consecutively. Each character can grant SKIRK at most 1 Death's Crossing stack by this means. Actually, I said you can do it at 60 seconds consecutively, but if you had, like, let's say you had 3 stacks, 1 times out, you get a 3rd stack. Does it, like, reset? Like, can you go for over 60 seconds? You might be able to. Each character can grant SKIRK most 1 stack by this means, so it probably would cap at 60. Each stack increases the normal attack damage dealt by SKIRK in 7-phase flash mode to 110%, 120, or 170 respectively. So like 110% for 1 stack and 70 for 3 sort of thing. Of its original damage and the damage dealt when using her burst burst then is 105, 115, or 160%. That's a big jump of its original damage. Okay, so hypothetically, I'm looking at this like I would look at a kit for Reverse 1999. You want 3. You want 3 stacks. I'm just saying you want it to get the 3 to do the most damage. She's a damage dealer. That's what you want. Do I think C4 is worth it? Probably. Yeah, probably worth it. End of Wishes is C5. This is 6 copies of SKIRK. This is an upgrade for, I'm pretty sure her, no, this is for her, it's for her skill. Because Serendipitous Sin was for her ultimate. Yes, Serendipitous Sin is her ultimate, and then End of Wishes is for her skill. Okay. I would have thought it would be the other way around, but her skill is used more frequently, so that makes sense. I actually feel like you could probably stop at her C5. Probably the only character in a HoYo game where you could stop at a means to an end C5 thing, but I mean, I could see you stopping there. I'm assuming her C6 is insane though. That's an essay, yeah. All right, C6 is called To the Source. This is 7 copies of SKIRK. This is a lot of money, all right? Everyone pay attention to that. So, each Void Rift SKIRK absorbs via the effects of the passive talent Reason Beyond Reason will grant her 1 Havoc Sever stack. This is a new mechanic. She can consume such stacks to initiate coordinated attacks and decrease the damage she takes while in 7-phase flash mode, so damage resistance for SKIRK. This is the best if you have her on field as your main DPS. If you're not using her on field as your main DPS, I don't think this is necessary. These stacks last for 15 seconds, and each stack's duration is counted independently. So 15 times 3, you do the math. 45 seconds, I'm pretty sure. So you must first unlock Reason Beyond Reason to use that. Havoc Sever then, it does describe this here. So when SKIRK uses the elemental burst, Havoc Ruin, so that's her ruin, her ultimate. She'll consume all Havoc Sever stacks to initiate a coordinated attack in which each Sever stack will deal 750% of SKIRK's attack as cryo damage. She scales on attack, let it be known. This damage is considered elemental burst damage, so it's considered ultimate damage. When she uses normal attacks while in 7-phase flash mode, 1 Sever stack will be consumed when her 3rd or 5th sequenced attacks hit an opponent to launch 3 coordinated attacks. This is happening passively, but when they describe it like this, it sounds like a lot. Each coordinated attack deals 180% of SKIRK's attack damage as cryo damage. It's considered normal attack damage in this case. And then, when SKIRK takes damage while in 7-phase flash mode, so when you use her skill and she takes damage, 1 Sever stack will be consumed to decrease this damage. This is where the damage resistance comes in, by 80% and attack nearby opponents 3 times. So you get damage resistance, but then you also get to slap somebody else. With each attack dealing 180% of SKIRK's attack as cryo damage, similar to her normal thing, this damage is considered charge attack damage. Insane. I only think you need her C6 if you're using her as a main DPS. If you're using her as burst DPS, or assume you'll be using her as burst DPS later on, like a couple patches from now, I wouldn't go for C6, but a couple patches from now, if you are using her as your main DPS consistently, then yeah, I would probably recommend going that far if you need it. But also, I feel like because Genshin is not as bad with power creep, you can kind of clear, like if you try hard enough, you can kind of clear endgame with anyone. Like I've seen some wild team comps. So like, do I think you need multiple constellations on SKIRK? Probably not. I mean, C6 is cracked, but I think, where do I think you could like end? Because usually C2 is like where you could probably end. But I think you could honestly, if you wanted to get multiple copies, probably end at 1 if you don't go all the way to 6. I really don't know what to say about SKIRK because I feel like there's 2 different ways to use her. And this happens a lot with certain characters. In gacha games, it's like, do you plan on using the character, you know? Because it's kind of is left up to that. How do you want to use the character? Also, this is what a Abyss vision looks like, apparently. We got a visual of that now. Here's Return to Oblivion. Yeah, this is another Ascension talent. Yeah, wild a little bit. Her affiliation is Cosmic Calamity. Also, she is a Scorpio, and that does not surprise me. Coming from a fellow Scorpio. I do love her, though. Let's pull. Her pay-to-play section took so long, by the way. It took like 10 minutes. All right, we're gonna use all the pulls we got. Oh my god, I'm on standard. That we can't be on standard. Or no Shenhe. I have Shenhe, it's fine. I can't get anything out of Stardust because I don't pull in this game anymore. So we have like maybe a 10 pull and a half. I'm probably fresh off pity. Oh, I'm not. Okay, we have some pity built up. What are we looking at pity-wise? I haven't gotten a character since April, by the way. But I didn't log in for like most of May because of my surgery. So, okay. We got some pity built up. Not a ton. I'm at 33 and I do have to win a 50-50. So immediately we're going to throw down a 10 pull. That 19 Genesis crystals is, let me move my box back. All right. We're gonna do a 10 pull. This will bring us to 43. I'm really hoping this can be early. It's not. I will go through the animations though. I'm hoping we can get like at least, I would love if we can get like 2 copies of Dahlia today, but also we don't have a ton. Also, I feel like they made the click feedback like faster. It's Diona. Is that free real estate? It might be. All right, that is free real estate. My Diona is maxed. I thought she was maxed. Okay, so we're gonna grab you and 2 of you. So we were at 43. I don't have enough to do another 10 pull. So this will be 44. I'm gonna have to play a lot of Genshin. A lot of it. All right, that's 44. This will be 45. All right, so far so not great. 46. We're like close, but I feel like I'm gonna lose a 50-50. You know, I feel like it's bound to happen. This is 47 then. Blue again. 48. Hoping for the best here. All right, blue again. 49. We're getting up there slowly but surely. This will be 50. So we're like getting to that point where like it would be early, but it's not unheard of to get the character at this point. I have another one. 51. Can we get it? Nope, it's blue again. My luck today. That's it. That's all we got. That's like all we can do, unfortunately. We're up to like 51, I think. So like, because that's the thing. I would spend money. I would. If I was playing Genshin more frequently and I didn't have to win a 50-50. If I have to win a 50-50, I tend not to spend money on pulls because it's just, it's so, like, I could get, I could get like a copy of D-Luke. I say that, but D-Luke's on my team right now. Yeah, unsuccessful. But at least we didn't lose the 50-50 yet. I'll take that. If anything was bound to happen, I'm okay with that. Yeah, pretty uneventful, actually. Let's go look at the character in the archive. I have not been... This is really sad, actually. Like, this is quite sad that I just have nobody. But also, I have, like, nothing to show for it. Like, it's not like I have none of these characters, but then I got SKIRK. No, I have nothing to show for it. Like, you can really tell when I, like, started to kind of lose some interest in Genshin here. Like, you can really tell. Because, like, look at this. Opposed to like this. It's okay, Nodecry will be different. There's SKIRK, Dead Eyes. I love her. We'll get her to come home eventually, right? Eventually. But that's it for this video. Like I said, it's uneventful. I don't know what you expected. How many days do I have? Actually, we're gonna leave this and come back. Because how many days do I have to make this happen? 13 days, like 2 weeks. Okay, that's not bad. We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. Am I worried? Yeah, a little bit, but like, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. That's truly it for this video though. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give me a like down below, as well as subscribe for more and click the little notification bell to be notified when I upload new ones. There she goes. She just leaves. and comes back. Let me know in the comments down below how everyone's SKIRK and or Shenhe, because there's people pulling for Shenhe, how your polls went. I hope all SKIRK wanters or SKIRK havers win your 50-50s, please, for me. Thank you. We'll get her. We'll get him next time. Don't worry about it. We'll get her next time. But as always, I hope everyone is having a super lovely day wherever you are in the world. And I will see you all in my next video. SKIRK peaced out too. Oh, she's back. Look at that. Bye.